We are here with Bruno from Neomed, the co-founder of Neomed. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Henry. A pleasure to be here.
So tell us, first time here at Google I/O,
Yes, very first time.
and what is your first impressions about the event?
Well, the thing is that sometimes in Brazil, as you know, we get the information second-handed.
Yeah,
So there is a filter between the guy that was here and the guy that published the information, and then there's a whole gap between you starting trying out things. And that's the funny part about Google I/O because you get the information very firsthand. So from the guys who actually build the thing, and there is all these settings of booths that you can actually try it out the thing. So I saw, as an example, anti-gravity. The Paige Bailey yesterday, she published that through the anti-gravity code, you can actually ship an app straight to the Play Store, and actually that she built through anti-gravity an emulation to create the same app for Apple Store and then publish that. I got a chance to try it out, and it was really amazing. So, in the era that we are living right now, I believe that speed matters, and it's not the speed of deploying, it's the speed of testing and having this understanding of how this technology will impact your business and your life. So, being here and being able to discern the information, to separate the noise from the actually practice, it's one of a kind experience.
amazing. And let's start the event on the keynote. That I think is the most exciting things. We have a lot of things that have just launched. And what was your favorite one? Like personally or for the startup, which one hits your heart?
I will pinpoint two things that
Please.
was really impressive. The very first thing is that Google published the all this agentic culture inside search. So prior to a week ago, actually, um, we still talked about agents as witchcraft, as something that it's you have to be done. There is this all these do's and don'ts. You have all this industry of people building agents. Right now, through what Google published yesterday, anybody, my mother, who is looking for search and she wants to know the best mop to buy when there is a good promotion on a supermarket, she can create that agent in search. And that's amazing because you're democratizing the access to AI, not only to the general practitioner of AI, but actually to building things. You're transforming the whole planet into builders,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Yes.
And the second part, actually for my business, which is Neomed, what Demis showed us about the digital twinning of the planet, I think that it was really interesting, and how DeepMind keep pushing science towards. So not only the AlphaFold, but this multimodality, which you can combine proteins into other chains of elements that how they influence each other. I think that that's the next boundaries of science will be shaken by this amount of information.
Completely. And what do you plan to implement right away when you're back to Brazil? Just start implementing Neomed to transform the things you're seeing here and put in execution.
Well, as you know, Henry, we are truly believers that the algorithms that we created and we are still creating, they impact millions of lives in Brazil and actually in Latin America. But there is a second problem to that. And actually, I forgot the name of the head of engineering who told the concept of bottlenecks yesterday.
Yep.
When you solve a problem, there's another problem to solve.
Exactly.
And it keeps happening. That's why we have opportunities to solve. Which means that once we solve the diagnostics part, we need to solve, and we solve the communication part. Now there is this never-ending process of to engage the patient to the proper procedure. And we were studying a lot of how to do that, how to help and the paths may differ from hospital to hospital, from clinic to clinic, and from diseases to diseases. So if you think about this matrix, it would be nearly impossible to create every single thing by hand. And with the news on Omni and everything else that we have right now, it's quite easy to see. I can't wait. I just message my team to read about it and please sign Ultra so then we can start doing that.
Yeah. By the way, I just realized it. I know Neomed for a while, of course, you are the founder, but we didn't talk about Neomed. So tell me a little bit what Neomed do and how you guys are using AI to change the whole industry of health tech in Brazil.
Well, thank you for asking that. Neomed is a project of over the 8 years in which we power hospitals through the power of AI to accelerate the cardiac diagnostics. There is a problem in Brazil and the whole world, which is cardiac conditions. We are living longer, and that's the first bottleneck that we solve. But the second bottleneck is that as we're living longer, society is facing an epidemic of cardiac conditions, arrhythmias, heart attacks, and detect that it's quite tricky, mainly in the healthcare environment. So we got the most affordable and most democratic exam in the world, which is EKG. And then we created an AI that can detect heart conditions and share that to a physician. That this physician inside a managed platform can run the report and then alert multidisciplinary teams inside the hospital that these patients over there, aiming to engage him in this treatment. Maybe it's a heart attack that you need to watch right away, or an atrial fibrillation that you may have like an ablation or another procedures. We are currently now in 1,600 clinics in Brazil and Mexico, and over 3 million patients managed in our platform.
So basically, you guys are saving lives. And what I love the most about it is your KPI. What's your main KPI?
Well, I got news on that.
Oh, please share us.
Last week we shared 2,000 years of life saved in our cloud. Let's just explain to people, every single time that you have a heart attack, you lose 11 days of life per minute. So we shortened the gap between having, by the American Heart Association, 10 minutes to report, to identify the heart attack for less than 2 minutes, less than 1 minute. So this time span saved, multiplied by the number of heart attacks that we detected, we passed to 2,000 years of people's lives.
2,000 years of life saving.
And
amazing.
Over 15,000 strokes avoided.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And let's come back to I/O now. And because we talked about the keynotes, about the products, you touched a little bit about the demos, but I/O is not only about products, it's about community. And how about what was the people that you met here and you like change your way of thinking, who did some question or provoke you, or even like the Brazilian guys here that you haven't met before. So tell us a little bit about the power of community here at Google I/O.
Well, there are the local and the global community. The local community is great because we truly have a bonding, like every single Brazilian that are here, even from the Accelerator program, the GFS program, the Builders program, everybody is really excited and sharing what they're learning and mainly their concerns about what is happening to their businesses, and having this safe environment where you can talk about what is going on, your challenges, and you know that nobody will judge you and actually people will help you. That's amazing. That's the power of local, and being here with all of them, it's amazing experience. But when you talk about global, having the access of people who are actually doing the thing is really great. Yesterday I was with the former founder of Firebase, who is now working at Stitch, and he told me something that was beyond my measures, which is we try to teach the algorithm. He's working at Stitch, so it's basically imaging and etc. And UI. We try to teach the algorithm how we learn, the way that we learn. So we treat it as a human. But we have a stigma that we just learn from words or videos, etc. But we learn from experiences. He was sharing with me that he was vibe coding an app for his wife, and he's truly passionate about the architecture from Washington.
Okay.
And he said to Stitch, like, I want a UI that makes me feel like I'm entering in Washington. And the UI totally changed it. And he told me, try this. Actually on Monday I was at the Stanford Chapel, which is beautiful. And I was vibe coding something for my wife also. And I said, I want this UI to be as amazing as the Stanford Chapel. And it truly worked. It's as fancy. You don't have like, but you got the colors, you got the vibe. And that's one of the things that you can only learn by talking to the guy who is on the frontier of that. That's the power of a global community.
Okay. Now I'm gonna do a really tricky and hard question. Prepare yourself. Okay, so we have the cutting edge technology in our hands. Everything's super fast. We have all the answers for our questions. What will differentiate us if everybody has the same technology? If everybody is all knowledge about everything, what's gonna different Neomed from other companies, and what's gonna be the flavor that's gonna make it special?
That's amazing. Actually, you are really clever on that, because we had a talk with the GitHub former CEO, who actually I've learned a lot from him. Is that technology is not a moat anymore. If you think that you have a platform, if you think that access to a technology or developing a technology is a moat, you are absolutely wrong about it. The thing is that discernment and wisdom to solve a problem, to ask the right questions, that's the true mode. And that's what differentiates us. You cannot be an AI looking for a problem. You have to look for a problem and then build something on AI, not the other way around. And that's the tricky part. Actually, I was with Demis right now, and he was saying something that was really interesting. Speed is important, but direction is the vector. The direction is even more important, because if you go really fast in the wrong direction, you hit a wall. Sometimes it's better to pause a little, recalibrate, and then speed up.
Right.
That's, I think, that's the true mode. The ability to be true empathic about a problem and having this deeper understanding about the problem and how you may address that, that will still be the true mode. It's just like auto cars. Everybody has the same engine, everybody has the same tires, but it keeps differentiating over time. That's, I think that we commoditize the craftsman of coding, but we cannot commoditize the discernment and the empathy.
Wow, what a week. I mean, we are in the second day of I.O. and you have all those clever persons, founders talking with you about this philosophical stuff that is impressive. Like if you were in Brazil, you will not have...
Yeah, and that's the power of take a breaks, I think, as a founder. Actually, I'm working and the cell phone is always with me. But if you don't have the time, 2 days to think about and rethinking about, I was actually talking to Gustavo, which is my co-founder, that we need to reorg the Neomed. Mainly because with all these changes, we need to rethink some aspects of our company. And if you are in the midst of the hurricane, sometimes you don't have the time to think about it.
So you are saying that this time that you had in I.O. is making you shift your mind on the direction that your company is going?
I think not on the direction, but I think the gears.
The gears, all right.
The direction is right, I think. I'm still thinking about it. But the gears can be improved. And that's so then I can move faster.
Yeah.
That's the reflection that I'm having right now.
I made good reflection, by the way. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
And let's talk about, of course, I really want to hear about Google Accelerator program. You've been in the program for a while. It was
2020, the very
2020.
First.
Oh, the pandemic one.
Yeah, the sad one. The sad batch.
Okay. And so it's been a while, 6 years since you've been in the program, but you're still getting something from the program, even though the program
of course
has finished. So what's the difference between a founder being in the program and being over or graduated in the program?
Well, being the program means that the thing that I love about Google and mainly from Accelerator is is the respect that you have for the founder. That's really important because it's the founder who will make the program, not the other way around.
I always tell that.
You are not pushing anything to anyone.
Sure.
And when he got the opportunity, I still remember the day that I received the email. It was late at night on a Wednesday because on the Thursday it was a shutdown. We had to let the office go. So we thought, okay, we need to make our best on that, and we made it. Actually, Neomed was near to a bankruptcy, and through the credits, we were able to extend our lifespan. And of course, we did some of our homework, but it's helped us save our company. Actually, if the company exists, is actually through Accelerator, which I'm eternally grateful. But the good part is that Accelerator has this alumni program in which you can still get things over there. What do you get? Connections. What do you get? First-hand things. We are always recruited to early access programs. We are always in touch with other founders who are facing the same challenges. We have access to mentorship. And that's really good, mainly because sometimes you are developing something and the infrastructure is tricky. So we just enter in the platform, book a session with an engineer, and he's with the simplest feedback possible. He helps us reduce costs. He helps us move fast. He helps us scale our infrastructure. So we are not you won't get rid of us because we truly love the program and we truly love being. And actually, the annual gatherings, our reliefs are like being entrepreneurs crossing the desert with very limited water. And the annual gatherings are like oasis in the spot where you can have 3 days to breathe, think, and keep going. Without of that, we will cross the desert, but it will be way harder.
Oh, I love the analogy, the desert analogy. So I can imagine that you're gonna be here for the 2027 IO, right?
Of course.
It's gonna be a little bit of more water, more
More
reflections. And what do you expect in the future?
Well, actually, the only thing that I hope is that we keep pushing things forward, and we get rid of the noises. That's the main part of that. I still hear a lot about other companies that are measuring their successes by the amount of agents that they have. That's truly a vanity metric.
Completely.
We need to keep thinking about the impacts that we have on people's lives, in people's businesses, and helping do or brave new things or better, faster, cheaper. And what I think about the next IO is that all these things that you guys are pushing today and making it public, the way it will impact society in the next year, like the scientific discoveries, like the amount of new apps that will be pushed. And actually, I'm curious about the next problems, because until today, sounds something's fixing, but bottlenecks will happen over again. But the expectations are quite high.
Completely. Another hard question. Like, of course, without saying names here, but we do have competitors. So why Google?
Well, Google understands ecosystems. And that's when you are on GCP, when you are on Google Workspace, when you are vibe coding, it makes tons of easier than rather use separate tools like the ones that you are probably thinking about. But having an ecosystem that you can rely on and this ecosystem is keeping pushing things forward, why should I change it? Why should why should I address? And that's a really good thing. Google solves complexity because it's really complex to switch context every single time. And building context is not only through my emails or my prompts or the PDF files that I upload. It's through every single interaction that I have with the platform. So Google understands my relationship with all my docs, with all the chats, with all the commits. And that's this knowledge built in just one place. It's priceless. It makes me do things way faster than in other places.
Well, Bruno, it was a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you very much for your time and great success.
Thank you, bro. Great to be here.